Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. They'll be calling you radical. Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. That's all this has been. That's all, and I'm going to get a lot of blowback on this video today. I'll probably get a lot of blowback on this video today because I'm going to start posting some of these things that I have and some of the things that was, where'd you get that? Where you been the whole fucking time? And I want to talk about, okay, my march, I guess it's going to be changed. My walk's going to change. I want people to understand that my walk that up the beach is still going to happen, but there's been some things come up. Number one, my health issues. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the spent fuel pool number 4. I'm going to start posting some of the things I have. And remember, some of the stuff that I have that was leaked to me, like the Cal Berkeley data from the Pacific Ocean, like the Navy's early data from the Pacific Ocean, like the transcript from inside the Situation Room, that's classified. I can't, Reagan, but I have trickled some of it out. I have things. I'll post some of these things. Look. I reported in the early days, the only one on Earth that was reporting this, and I want people to understand the spent fuel waste for number 4 is in the ocean. And I know that it's in the ocean. And you can put, they just simply dumped it in the fucking ocean. Where do you think it is? Oh, we removed it. And I'm going to post some of this stuff. I know exactly what happened inside the situation from the early days. I know exactly in detail. Write a book. My book could be like Jack and the Beanstalk. I could climb the fucking, maybe I can get a golden egg and go fucking find fucking Prince Andrew so he can rape a fucking 16-year-old. Oh yeah, he did that too. Him and that other fucking fraud Durkaswich. You know, all these people are fucking frauds, but I want people to understand my path. I've been fighting the nuclear cartel since I was born. Before I was born. My father marched in the trenches, human and guinea pig, lab ratted. I watched him die. In the prime, held his hand as he died. The girl that I was in love with, Femen, watched her die. People that live here, they know my path. I've watched this. I've got leukemia. Hello, I have AML leukemia. I made the choice. By the way, my choice was started to be made on the anniversary of Chernobyl. But in 2012, I had to make the choice, you know, not to have a bone marrow transplant. I have AML de novo. The type of leukemia I have is the hardcorest leukemia you can get in the human. It's the kind that mows you down and kills you dead. Deader than dead. I got it 7 months. So my path, as I've said it, I'm organic like a mutated sunflower in the wind. I just kind of, this activist come to me who I didn't even know called me on the phone named Lonnie Clark in Eugene, Oregon. She's the one that talked me into going to Oregon on the 2nd anniversary, why I'm very, very critical. Against doctor's orders, she can testify to this. We were hanging up that painting and it just touched me. My whole arm just blew and just started bleeding. I was up there with platelets of 30. This thing, my doctors were having, you're crazy, you can't do this. So a lot of the choices, a lot of my travels, Megan Rice hearing, you know, the USS Reagan, they've not just been all my choices. Now, I've got to practice what I preach. And what have I preached? Dogma burgers, come out of your dogma burgers. So, Lonnie has convinced me, and it's taken a long time for me to get there, but she has convinced. Sometimes as a man, as an activist, we have to have that woman's voice. We have to have it, and you know, I don't have that in my life because cancer's killed those women in my life. I don't have that voice. So sometimes I have to step back and I do listen. There's certain people that I really do listen to. And it sure ain't fucking Chris Busby. And it sure ain't fucking Arnie Gundershill. And it sure ain't those fucking pieces of shit. And it sure ain't Noam Chomsky. But, you know, I listen to Lonnie because, and she's like, you know what? You need to back off and become friends with Helen Caldicott again. So I've agreed to do it, and she's convinced me. Because Helen goes on, so I take back everything I said about Helen. I love Helen, and it's taken me a while to get there. So Lonnie's convinced me that I need to be in New York the 28th and the 1st for her symposium. So I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go to New York, and this is not my idea, but I've agreed to do it. Now my walk, I will be at Diablo Canyon on the 4th anniversary. I will be there. I can guarantee. Now, will my walk go all the way across. I don't know. You know, my doctors are having a fit right now because I'm a little sick. I want people to understand that I'm going to talk a little bit about this, start talking more about this. In the inception, the first days of Fukushima, you know, Gregory Jack, have we heard anything from him? No, because he was torn with NATO. And by the way, the urban planner from Harvard, who I know, that he was around there with, I know these people. You know, from my activism at San Onofre since I was this big. My first protest I attended to, I was probably 3 or 4 years old. I knew Wall Street personally. I knew Edward Abbott fucking personally. I changed my tactics on my activism in 1999 when I watched everybody fucking die and I left Wall Street. I was so angry and I'm still angry. And I'm fucking pissed. And you know, and I'm not going to listen to these fucking lies. Now, by the way, we have a leak going in Michigan right now. For 2 months, the NRC knew about. Oh, it's just oil. These fucking monsters are not going to be happy until they fucking kill every living thing on this fucking planet. Oh, it won't get you. The fuck it won't get you. Fucking nuclear false cancer. So in the inception of Fukushima in the early days, by the way, there's another report coming out and saying, oh, by the History Channel, that the Titanic plates were pushing on each other for 9 years and just erupted. You believe that? Fucking, these people are evil. This whole fucking dog and pony show was being run out of Livermore, the head of the snake at Berkeley. Okay, so September 26, 2013, as I'm headed to New York to walk to Hamilton's grave, as our army walked to Hamilton's grave from Washington Square, which was very powerful. Ackerman's still crying about his sore feet. They leaked it out. This is the ex-Washington Post reporter. He's from the Brookings Institute. Look who he is. This is obviously the propaganda they've tried to push. Now, I'm going to post this article, which I have. You read through this thing, it'll tell you everything that I said from the first days, but then they try to posh it. There was a fucking fire in Spent Fuel 4. We know this for a fact, and media. We know the pools cracked. We know they lost coolant, not just in 4, in fucking 5 and 6. We know this for a fact. So all it was is this dog and pony show coming for. Now, why is that so dramatic? The exact same thing's going in Russia, by the way, with Westinghouse's fuel. I believe in 3 and 6 at the big boy in fucking Europe, and nobody's going to tell you. I believe that's exactly what's happened. The same fucking thing. They lost coolant somehow on the exchange as they were moving the fucking Westinghouse fuel rods into the pools, and somehow they're on. And by the way, my guess is there's a major catastrophe going on over there, and you could say whatever you want to say about it. You could say whatever. That's exactly how Chernobyl played out. This is out of control. Look, the whole nuclear thesis, there's no political will inside Washington to take care of any of this. They're old, they're worn out, they're tired, we don't use it. They're a giant cash cow. The military-industrialized complex on Balco is nuclearism. Everybody works for it. It's free money. They're not going to give it up. The Queen's uranium mines, they're not going to give it up. Even though we don't use it, it's tired, it's worn out. But here's the thing, there's nowhere to put this shit. So it's coming apart at the fucking seams. They dumped the fucking fuel from number 4, and I can fucking prove it. They simply, because where's it at? Now they're saying, oh, we got it all out of there. These lying fuckers, okay? Do you think they really got it all out of there? How would we know? How would we know? We're relying on leaked stuff to me. Leaked premium. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, you just stick it in a hole? You just no, see, that's what you don't get about nuclear. There's no answer for the waste. They lied to us in the inception, just like San Onofre. Who cares if it's shut down? There's 40 years of spent waste sitting in swimming pools over there. They were never built for it because they promised in the inception they had an answer. Nuclear fission. Yeah, if you believe there's an answer, you believe that Berkeley or them have nanotechnology or anything to clean up, when Santa gonna bring you from Santa? Are you still waiting for the Easter Bunny and the fucking great pumpkin to fucking arrive? I mean, if you believe any of that, you are a fool. They don't have it. And just like this, when this came out, he resigned at Livermore. And I went to Livermore on day 1000. That's why I went there. He said in his own statement, we'll never have this. We don't have this. We've got to pivot. They don't have it. They will never have it. So what have they done? Cover up, cover up, cover up. I could write 100 books and I will. But here's the fact of the matter. I'm the only one that reported this in exact hardcore detail. I followed along and I got leukemia 7 months later. And I want people to understand the biggest part of this thesis, this post-ignorance, this camera, this new genre, this new art for me, is surviving this disease. The last frontier is surviving this disease. The type of leukemia I should never survive. And the whole group, I watch people. I watch people as they beat it down with the central line. Chemo saved my life, by the way. Beat it down, beat it down, beat it down. And then they walk like, oh, I've got to beat, and then they just die. You know, and I can name off hundreds of them. Our group, I said so many. I know that this is a long walk. I know what I'm up against. My doctors know. You know, my caseworkers, Medicaid, all these people kick me out because they don't understand. They don't understand this disease. I do. My doctors do. They know. This is the one. You don't just say, oh, I'm cured, I'm better, come by, yeah, go on. Oh, no. Hell no. This is the good fight. This is the longest walk. The longest walk. So, that's the plan. I'll be in New York for Helen's symposium. You know, and I got to give it to Helen. She minces no words. You know, so she's done great work. And, you know, Lonnie's convinced me to get off my fucking dogma burger. Fucking, that's one of mine that I guess I consume. But I still think that about Busby. I still think that about Noam Chomsky. I still think that about fucking Arnie Gundershill. They've caused more damage to this cause than they ever fucking help. When I hear them use words that it dilutes. So, you know, Lonnie's talked me into this, and she's a very big part of the Post-Ignorance Project. So, I'll be at Diablo Canyon on the 4th anniversary, for sure, no doubt. And then we'll go forward with that. But I'll stay on this, and, you know, I give up my phone number. The spent fuel, is it out of there? A lot of it was out of there immediately. It was on fire. Where did most of it go? Over us in North America. And I still stick to this. You are much safer living in Tokyo than New York City. Hello, the jet stream moves left to right. It fucking annihilated us here. It fucking hammered us. And Fukushima's killed well over 1 million fucking people to date. That's a fact. And you could argue with it. Chernobyl's killed well over 40 million. Probably much more than that. And I can prove all this. I can prove. Like I said, you read through all this. Remember who wrote it. And then they backed out. Ex-Washington Post. We know who these fucking rats are. We know. This is the 1090. They're trying to give you fucking half-truth. You know, this quarter truth, eighth truth. No, this is, it started out, this whole 1090, this whole half-truth, they give you an eighth of the truth, a 16th of the truth, a 32nd of the truth, a 64th of the truth, 128th of the truth, a 256th of the truth, fucking 1,048 of the truth, fucking 2,096 of the fucking truth, fucking so forth, so on. That's where they fucking gone. Tell me lies, tell me sweet. And our parents would have never fucking put up with this fucking shit. The fucking NRC, those lies. You heard me go off in fucking San Onofre at the Omni, you know. I'm not that kind of activist. I'm fucking Edward Abbey. I'm fucking Wallace Stegner. I'm my father. I'm the old great fucking activist. I'm fucking Richard fucking Miller. You know, I'm those old hardcore fucking scum. You know, Carol Gallagher's still alive and well. Ask her. I'm Megan Rice. You know, I'm gonna fight these fuckers in a radical, intense way because I know the only way to fight these fucking bullies. Knock them on their fucking ass. You know, you guys want to play kumbaya and this passive aggressive. Kevin can't say. I mean, it's outrageous. You cause more damage to the cause than you ever did good, but you know, I love Helen, and I always have. You know, I got a little pulled back because of this whole thesis, and I guess my cancer and my intense fight. You know, so that's the plan. But I'll start talking more about this. They dumped the spent fuel from number 4 into the fucking ocean. They just fucking dumped it in there. And the Pacific genocide's not going to happen, already happened. You fuckers say, the ocean's not going to fucking die. Big piece of her already fucking died. Of course you're not going to kill the Pacific Ocean, for you are no match for her. No match. But I'll tell you what it is going to kill. It's going to kill millions of you. You know, just like it's already killed so many in the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific genocide's not going to happen. It happened. You're still waiting. You know, just like all this. I mean, it's amazing to me. You want to write a book, Chris fucking Hedges, you know, Naomi Klein 5 years later? No, you fucking watch my book in real time as it happened, as it unfolded. Pacific genocide's not going to happen. Happened. Happened. Fucking. I found that on Oceanside. It's real. It's the real deal. My granddaughter gave me this. Wasn't her? She didn't know where I got it. It's space fucking rock. Blue. Huh. You can't make this up. 2 years separate. My granddaughter was 2 when she came. She's still. That's what surviving cancer is. That's what this story's been. Simply that. The age of fission. You don't see it? Popism is fucking dead. I'll stay on this. I'll let you know. But they took the spent fuel from number 4 and just simply dumped it into the fucking ocean, and I can prove it. Stand tuned.